In the 1980s, the retail industry in Southeast Asia was a very different place. Shopping malls were just starting to become popular, and most people still shopped at physical stores. However, this would all change with the rise of the internet. In the early 2000s, more and more people began shopping online. And by 2010, e-commerce had taken off in Southeast Asia. This created a huge opportunity for a new type of retailer, an online-only flash sale site. And that's how Ladas was born. Ladas is a leading e-commerce platform in Southeast Asia. It was founded in March 2012 and is headquartered in Singapore. As of 2021, Ladas operates in 6 countries: Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. The company has raised over $1 billion in funding from investors like Summit Partners, Access International, and KKR. Today, we're going to look at how Lazada became one of the biggest e-commerce companies in Southeast Asia. Taking a look back, the story of Lazada dates back to 2007 when 2 entrepreneurs named Max Ventimiglia and Pierre Poignant met. Max was an Australian entrepreneur who had previously co-founded a marketing agency called Razor Group, while Pierre was a French engineer who had worked at a number of tech companies. The two quickly hit it off and decided to start a business together. At the time, they were both working in Jakarta, Indonesia, but their goal was to create an e-commerce company that would operate throughout Southeast Asia. They wanted to create a platform that would make it easy for consumers to buy products from local merchants. But there was one big problem. The two didn't know what kind of business to start. That was until they learned about the booming growth of e-commerce in the region. They saw that more and more consumers were starting to shop online, but there was a major gap in the market. There was no one-stop shop where consumers could buy all of their favorite products. Instead, they had to visit dozens of different websites. On top of that, many of these websites were difficult to use and didn't offer a great customer experience. This gave Max and Pierre the idea to create a website that would solve all of these problems. They wanted to create a website that was easy to use, offered a great customer experience, and had a wide selection of products. But there was one more thing that set them apart from other e-commerce companies. Latest would only sell products at a discount. Their plan was to work with brands and manufacturers to get the best possible prices on products and then pass those savings on to the customer. With that, Lazada was born in March of 2012. At first, it was just the two of them working out of an apartment in Jakarta. But they quickly grew the business, and by 2014, they had over 100 employees. By this point, they had also expanded to other countries in Southeast Asia, including Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. Latest was growing faster than they could have ever imagined. In fact, by 2015, they were doing over $1 billion in gross merchandise volume per year. With that, the company became a unicorn, meaning it was valued at over $1 billion. But not everyone was happy with Lazada's success. Many local merchants felt that the company was taking advantage of them. They felt that Lazada was using their platform to unfairly compete against them. This tension would eventually come to a head in 2016 when Lazada was fined by the Philippine government for alleged anti-competitive behavior. Despite this setback, Lazada continued to grow, and by 2017, they were doing over $3 billion in gross merchandise volume per year. The company was now one of the largest e-commerce platforms in Southeast Asia. By 2018, Lazada had become the go-to destination for online shoppers in the region. In fact, according to a survey conducted by Google, Lazada was the most visited e-commerce website in Southeast Asia. This made the company a very attractive target for Alibaba. Alibaba is a Chinese multinational technology company that specializes in e-commerce and online services. Founded by Jack Ma in 1999, Alibaba is one of the largest companies in the world with a market cap of over $200 billion. Alibaba had been eyeing Lazada for quite some time, and in 2017, they made a move. Alibaba purchased a 51% stake in Lazada for $1 billion. This gave Alibaba control of the company and allowed them to help Lazada expand even further. With Alibaba's help, Lazada was able to increase its market share in Southeast Asia to over 60%. It also helped Lazada expand to new markets such as Taiwan and the United States. Under Alibaba's ownership, Lazada has continued to grow and innovate. For example, Lazada recently launched Lazada Wallet, which allows users to store, send, and receive money within the Lazada app. Lazada also launched Lazada Bank, which offers financial services such as loans and insurance. Looking forward, it's clear that Lazada is in a strong position to continue growing. Plus, Lazada has a strong partnership with Alibaba, which gives it access to a lot of capital and resources. As long as Lazada continues to innovate and meet the needs of its customers, it should be able to maintain its dominant position in Southeast Asia. So what's next for Lazada? Well, the company has said that it wants to become the everyday destination for consumers in Southeast Asia. This means that Lazada wants to be the first place that people think of when they want to buy anything online. To do this, Lazada will need to continue expanding its product selection and improving its customer experience. But if Lazada can pull it off, it will solidify its position as the leading e-commerce platform in Southeast Asia. Now, after looking at the history and story of Lazada, let's take a look at why Lazada is so successful. The first reason for Lazada's success is that it was able to capitalize on the growing popularity of e-commerce in Southeast Asia. When Lazada was founded in 2012, e-commerce was just starting to take off in the region. This gave Lazada a big opportunity to capture market share early on. The second reason for Lazada's success is that it was able to build a strong team. Lazada's founders, Max Ventimiglia and Pierre Poignant, are both highly experienced entrepreneurs. This gave Lazada a strong foundation from which to grow. In addition, Lazada has been able to attract top talent from other e-commerce companies in the region. This has allowed Lazada to stay ahead of the competition in terms of innovation and customer experience. The third reason for Lazada's success is that it has been able to build a strong relationship with Alibaba. Alibaba is one of the largest and most successful e-commerce companies in the world. This gives Lazada access to a lot of capital and resources that it would not have otherwise had. Alibaba has also helped Lazada expand to new markets such as Taiwan and the United States. Now that we know why Lazada is successful, let's talk about some of the challenges that Lazada is facing. The first challenge that Lazada is facing is competition. Lazada operates in a very competitive industry. It faces competition from other e-commerce companies in the region, such as Tokopedia and Shopee. These companies are all vying for market share in the growing e-commerce market in Southeast Asia. Another challenge that Lazada is facing is regulation. The e-commerce industry is heavily regulated in Southeast Asia. Lazada has to comply with a number of laws and regulations in order to operate. This can be a challenge, especially as regulations are constantly changing. In addition, Lazada has to deal with a lot of scams and fraud on its platform. This is a major headache for the company, and it's something that they are constantly trying to improve. Despite these challenges, Lazada is well positioned for continued success. The e-commerce market in Southeast Asia is still growing fast, and Lazada is a dominant player in the space. As long as Lazada can continue innovating and meeting the needs of its customers, it should be able to maintain its position as the leading e-commerce platform in Southeast Asia. As we wrap up this video, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Lazada? Do you think it will continue to grow and innovate? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my other videos on amazing companies. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.